In today's video, I'm revealing the difference between a content creator and an influencer. The truth is, people mix up the terms content creator versus influencer quite often. So let's dive into what it really means to be a content creator compared to an influencer, and whether or not you can be both, because while they have their differences, there are quite a few things they have in common too. So as you probably already know, each day brands partner with content creators and influencers to create unique content to meet their marketing goals. So if you're hoping to learn how to work with brands and get paid as an influencer or content creator, keep watching all the way to the end to find out how content creators and influencers both make money working with brands. So I think we can all agree that with the continual rise of social media, content needs to evolve rapidly to keep up with the ever-changing trends. People on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok consume more and more content every day. And whether it's an outright ad or a sponsored post, we are all constantly exposed to brand messages. So this new reality has launched influencers and content creators into the limelight. But the line that separates these two titles is kind of blurry, and often the terms are used interchangeably. And regardless of the platform, the content produced by content creators versus influencers is very different. Plus, with so many platforms to choose from, content creators and influencers are constantly challenged to create new, engaging, and really innovative content. And in doing so, many have discovered a niche that makes them very distinct and unique from other users. So what exactly is the difference between a content creator and influencer? Well, to start, let's talk about the term content creator. It was first used way back in 2011 on YouTube to describe the first YouTube stars. And as social media continued to gain popularity, both celebrities and rising YouTubers really identified with the term because, to put it simply, content creators are often experts within a niche or specific industry. Today, however, content creators come in many different forms. They are photographers, videographers, editors, and copywriters, and other types of artists who showcase their work on social media. They typically use their social media profiles as their portfolio to market their brand. So in many senses, content creators are also influencers. In many cases, these individuals became influencers by chance. However, while they gained a massive audience, that was not necessarily their original intention. Many simply use their content as a creative outlet for their interests, hobbies, and, well, artistic areas of expertise, right? So what do content creators do? Well, to put it simply, they create content. Their job is in their job title, right? So to put it bluntly, they create media. So think videos, photos, graphics, blog content, and more for themselves and brands, and then publish it across various channels like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and their own personal websites. So to make things simple, content creators are highly skilled and experienced, photographers, editors, writers, graphic designers, or videographers, for example, who develop assets intended to be shared with brands for advertising purposes. They're also a great go-to for brands sourcing content for social media, websites, email, print, etc., without paying for the additional price of influence. So, for example, followers, impressions, and engagement. Content creators are also evaluated by the deliverables they produce, their unique creativity, and their ability to create eye-catching assets rather than by the size of their audience. They're also very knowledgeable in regards to best practices across social media platforms. So now let's pivot and chat about influencers. Influencers also create content, but As many of you know, they have a very different approach. While they also share amazing images and videos, they also focus on being very relatable through the interactions they share with their followers. And this helps them really build their brand and grow their audience to huge numbers. And influencers, like content creators, can be found on nearly every social media platform, from Instagram to YouTube to TikTok and even podcasts, right? So most importantly, influencers influence us. People feel connected to these individuals and trust the advice that they provide. The main difference will often appear in the content they produce. It's often pretty straightforward, and some may even say it kind of lacks the same quality as the high quality content created by professional content creators. But like all things creative, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so this assumption is subjective. However, one thing that isn't subjective is that influencer content is often much more engaging and targeted to a specific audience. Like content creators, influencers create content around various topics and the niches that they specialize in, from lifestyle to food to fashion to travel, etc. Regardless of the size of their audience, their followers are not only interested in their content, but they are invested in it. So what do influencers do? Well, to put it simply, influencers are social media personalities who, again, it's in their job title, influence their followers to do or buy something based on what they do or buy. Influencers are simply sharing how they live their lives and promoting the products and services they use along the way. And influencers generally partner with brands in order to leverage their audience to build brand awareness and trust. They have an engaged audience that is invested in their content and advice, and are mostly evaluated by the size of their audience along with their engagement rates. So for example, they may specialize in travel content, lifestyle content, food, interior decor, beauty. You get where I'm going here. Their followers are often extremely engaged, as they are clearly experts within a specific niche. So what do content creators and influencers have in common? Well, to start, they're both natural storytellers that are vital to brands in terms of marketing and advertising, especially in the digital space. They both thrive at the intersection of business and creativity, and as much as creativity is at the core of their work, they must also really navigate opportunities with a business-like mindset, and also need to feel confident with some of the more logistical pieces, such as contracts, negotiations, etc. And another thing they have in common is that they're both able to create unique product content. So think overhead product shots or flat lays, as well as lifestyle content. So think UGC content, or showing the product in use. And they both typically have a unique style or aesthetic and may specialize in a niche, but are just as capable in creating content for a variety of brands and products in different niches. Now, on the other hand, there are several distinct differences that separate content creators versus influencers. For example, many YouTubers spend numerous hours recording and editing their video content, whereas influencers on Instagram, for example, often focus on creating compelling copy to go with their images. And while these examples are pretty general, it really highlights the skills necessary for each platform. So the level of skill is also a factor when comparing creators and influencers. Everyone can aspire to become an influencer. I mean, let's face it, you really only need a smartphone and like an ounce of creativity to start building your brand, right? Content creators, however, need very specific and often very expensive equipment, technical skills, technical expertise, and professional editing knowledge to produce high quality content. It should also really be noted that how they each monetize their brand also differs. So creators often monetize their videos on YouTube, for example, through Google AdSense, affiliate links, digital products, brand sponsorships, and freelance work for brands. Influencers, on the other hand, typically receive their income through brand partnerships, affiliate links, and more recently on Instagram from the platform itself in terms of being paid for bonus Reels views. So in the marketing world, both content creators and influencers are sought out by brands for advertising and promoting products and services on social media. However, when working with content creators, brands have unique access to really high levels of creativity and knowledge that can typically only be achieved by bringing on professional photographers, videographers, editors, and copywriters. It's important to also recognize that in many instances, creators don't always have access to the larger general population like influencers do, but their engagement rates are often similar, if not higher. So as you can imagine, more and more brands are becoming really interested in content creators and what they have to offer. As many of these individuals have found their way into the influencer world. Now on the flip side, some influencers are now making an effort to be more creative and produce higher quality content to compete with content creators, yet their focus remains largely the same, aiming to engage their audience in clicking and buying the products and services they promote. So at the end of the day, a brand's choice between partnering with a content creator or an influencer will largely depend on their current marketing priorities. So for example, if brand exposure is the primary goal, then working with influencers is going to be the best approach, since they're best equipped to expose a brand to a really wide audience. Now, on the other hand, obtaining high quality content at a fraction of the cost of contracting a professional photographer, models, videographers, and editors is often why choosing a content creator proves to be more valuable. Okay, that pretty much sums up the difference between content creators versus influencers. So I'm curious, what title do you go by? Please leave a comment below and definitely include a link to your social media profile too, because I'd love to check it out. Okay, that's it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them in the comments below. And of course, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.